So let's go ahead and get into this live stream. First of all, I want to explain to everybody that this is on a new device, and that is the reason for the delay. I was going to do this video for everybody yesterday. I told you in Talk Dragon Tuesday that I'm going to show you why you should get that writer, even if it's up to the point of just getting the writer and nothing else beyond that. And I'm going to show you why. And I think once you see this, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, RPW, you're so right. That is such a great idea. Because I actually did this once by accident, not knowing what I was getting myself. So I'm going to go into my writers real quick and show you who I'm talking about. His name is Tor. Now, back whenever Tor had came out, I had gotten a bunch of things. I got like a dragon, and I think I got another writer or something of that nature. But at the very end, I had so many sigils left. So I went up his line so that I could get a couple of the things there. And I thought, well, you know what? I got just enough. Let's go ahead and grab Tor while we're at it. I can throw some gear on him when I get Atlas. And then I thought maybe at the time that you could level them up in Atlas too. Unfortunately, you cannot. But you can, of course, put gear on, the gear on them. So, hey, Faytoot. So, one of the things that I discovered by getting this writer, which is a junk writer, guys, like he doesn't really add much to my dragon, right? But this is where it gets awesome. We're going to go over here into, Atlas real quick. And I'll let you guys watch me collect something. Now, if you're not familiar with writer missions is where you can go in and you can hire a writer to go and do some missions and get a prize for it. So for example, here, your writer has to have at least a combat level of 1000, and it has to be a wind elemental writer. Now, most of them on the 1-star missions is something that I won't have no issues sending my stuff out on, because they're going to have that kind of combat level. However, when you get to the ones that are really worth sending off, it's these ones up here. Like for example, this one. Now, if you'll notice, these guys are done. We've got collect now, collect now, collect now. So I'm going to click collect. Now, when you do this, the dragon you send off is going to be gone for 12 hours. So could you imagine, like, let's see if there's one here, ice. I'm not going to want to send off my ice elemental dragon if it's Axie. That's just way too long to be without one of my strongest dragons. So having junk writers is very useful. For example, when it comes to I forget what element he is, the new writer is a wind element. So here's a wind. I wouldn't want to send Kayla off because then Equester, my stronger dragon, is going to then be gone. So one of the things you can do is get these writers, even if it's just to level 0, and you can use your tokens to send them on missions. And this way you're not sending off your powerful dragon and your more powerful writers on these missions. I mean, because again, guys, they're gone for 12 hours. Here's an example. This one right here is considered a fire, and I have one on Consurgence. Now, this prevents me from having to, use a different dragon, for example. I mean, a different thing. I don't have the tokens available for that, but it's just an example. Right here, instead of sending off, Swan and Axie, I can actually send off one of the Atlas writers with this junk dragon. And then I can do 3 at a time. I don't want to do another ice because I don't have any other junk ones to do that with. And same with the other. Now, every once in a while, you'll see right here, it resets in 7 minutes and 20 seconds. So here in like 10 minutes, I can come back and see, which not for this one. Yeah, it is a lot of writers. So, but again, like not all of them are great writers. If we go back into the regular side of War Dragons here and go into my writers, some of these are, of course, your Atlas writers. Morning. But some of these are actually hired writers. So again, Tor. Tor is a level 0 dragon. Like I literally only hired him. And you would think, well, that's a waste. That's a waste of sigils. And honestly, it probably was until I realized that, oh no, it wasn't. This was an awesome idea. And like I said, dude, you can use these junk writers to get these things in missions. I was able to earn, because of my glory and what I've earned in the glory thing, between all the stars that I've earned, I've been able to earn at least, and I would say at least easily another 3,000 egg tokens this past week, or past weeks, you know, a week or two, just being able to go do this. Now, let's take this a step further. Now, again, if you accidentally got this rider and you didn't realize, like what happened with me, you didn't realize that this was mixed in with other things like the actual gear, for example. Let's say you just got the first page. 50% off, not a big deal. You can use her for a junk rider, put the gear away that you got, or keep it, up to you. And I'll tell you why you could do that here in a minute. But you're also getting all the goodies along the way for 50% off. So if that happened to you, don't fret it. Again, one of the best things is you can go over to Atlas once you're getting glory and you're gaining those prizes. And I'm going to show you what I mean by prizes. If you come into here, we're going to go into the the prizes area. Right now I'm working on ice gear, for example. Now, once I get down to this section, I'm going to get 75 star mission tokens. And you usually have to have 5 of these every time that you do it. So think about that, guys. That is a lot of missions. That's a lot of extra egg tokens or gold or whatever it is that you want to get from a junk rider. It is totally worth that. Completely worth it. So right here, again, I didn't have to send off my strongest dragon for 12 hours. So I've been literally every 12 hours putting my dragon riders out there and getting them going. Now, like I said before, there is a further thing that you can do with this. Now, do you remember the most recent new event that they came out with known as the Temple Raid? Now, in the Temple Raid, you have to use a certain class dragon according to the base that you're hitting. So like one of the things I noticed is with, you know, your youngest dragon in the red tier, Kanara is a blast in there. You're not going to have any issues with her. However, when you go up and you work your way up like into green, you may not have the strength needed on all of them. So you might be like, oh, well, I mean, I did fine, but whenever I got to ice, there was just not anything strong enough, so I'd had to use several. You can then put one of those junk riders on that dragon. Hire a couple, you know, go ahead and forge a few little things over in the gear forging area. Nothing fancy, just enough to give it a little bit of a boost, plus get you some points in the event. And now you're going to have a much better time in the Temple Raid. So these junk riders are not as junky as you think. There is a use to them. And we don't know how long riders are going to be around. You know, I've said this before, that one of the reasons I get riders is because I feel like they may not stay around. And that's because, I don't know, if you go into View Dragons and click Armor, if you are new to the game, as in like the last year time frame, I'd say in the last 13, 14 months, you are not going to have any of this. This is armor that you could equip on your dragons. And they would only fit specific dragons in general. My husband has actually been playing far longer than me. He's been playing like 2.5 years. I've been only playing a year this past September. So I'm going on my 13-month marker. So I didn't get any of this gear. It wasn't even an option for me. This armor was not even an option. And it went away, guys. It's gone. That could happen with riders too. Just keep that in mind, that riders may not be permanent. I mean, they might be permanent, but they may not be. They could come up with something they think is a better idea, or they may not be popular enough, so they take them off the market. We don't know. So this may be your one and only chance. And the reality of it is there's always going to be missions, because they can't take that away because people have the riders. This is something in Atlas, well, I can't say they'll always be there, but more than likely would outlast the riders themselves. So like on this 5-star mission, when I get 70 of them, look at all these. You can get 3.750, hey Ernesto, 3.7 million gold. I think that's what it says. Wait, no, I'm sorry, 375,000 gold. 375,000 gold. So that is why junk riders are a useful tool to you. So if you got him, if you got her, I should say, if you got this dragon rider, don't fret it. Again, 50% off the first page, right? 50% off the first page. And if you haven't got it, and this is my suggestion, the first line only costs, I think, let's see, it's 50, 50, 375 sigils, I believe, to get the very ability just to hire her. I am doing that on every alt I have. I think I have like a couple, but I'm doing that on every one of those. And I've told a lot of my friends, dude, get that. And the reason, again, is because number one, you can put that on one of your weaker dragons during things like the temple raid, add a little bit of armor to it, and it's on a junk dragon. But at the same time, if you mix it up, make sure that there's one junk rider on an ice element, make sure there's one on a dark and one on this and so forth, then you're going to build up your arsenal of mission riders. That's right, guys, mission riders. So for me, even if I don't want the second rider that's coming out later this season, I'm still going to get it at least to that hiring point as a junk rider so that I can have it for what I would call a mission rider. So these are riders that are on dragons that you can live without for the next 12 hours. I mean, think about it. Every 12 hours, you can have one of these guys out on a mission and you're not losing your better dragons. Again, like down here, you've got this guy going out with, you know, an older dragon, dragon I don't ever use. However, if I was up here and I'd put Axii out there, I would be losing out on one of my top 3 dragons. And most of your riders are going to be on your top 3 dragons. Let's see if it's resetting yet. We got an earth here. So like here's one. I could literally send out this guy and it's on Rizar. I don't use Rizar. I mean, that's another junk, shouldn't call it a junk rider, but did you just join my video, Morphs? Let me explain to you why. I mean, this is so exciting. You guys don't understand how exciting this is. Okay, so if you're just joining my video, and this is all I was wanting to put out today, is why I feel that you should get Portia at least to that first line. At least get Portia to here. It's going to cost you 375 sigils. I get it. I get people are upset by the fact that she, was whatever. And if you accidentally got the first page like I did before you even realized what was happening, then there is hope for you. It's not that big a deal because I, back in the day, whenever Tor came out, decided, heck, I'm going to go ahead and get Tor because I had heard this rumor that you could level them up in Atlas, not realizing that when they meant that was, the gear, not the riders. However, in doing so, I have the ability to send out dragons like Tor, for example, right here, who does not have the combat level to be able to go do this mission. But using tokens, I can send him out. So every 12 hours, I can send out, for example, here, I have enough tokens to send Tor out right here, look, and get me gold. So for 12 hours, one of the dragons and one of the riders that are nothing to me right now have now become mission riders, okay? These are going to go get me things, and I've been able to get thousands of extra egg tokens for this coming event, for this breeding event we're having right now. And I just collected them live. So if you are just coming into the show, make sure you go back and rewatch this. Now, again, not only can you use these on your missions, and you're not going to be without your good dragons. Like, for example, if I wanted to use this one, I'd be losing Axii. I don't want to lose one of my top 3 dragons for 12 hours. It's just too much. But again, you're going to be able to then go through and hire these on dragons to help you in the things like Temple Raid. If there was a gold, for example, in the gold region, if you weren't able to get, let's say you had one that was strong enough for the fire and there was one that was strong enough for, the ice elemental island, but you just struggled in the dark. This gives you the ability to put a rider on, a dark elemental dragon to get those bonus amounts. So this is going to give a little bit of strength. Put, 1 or 2 little things on these bad boys out of that forge building. Get yourself some points during a forge event. And then you're going to have a little bit more boosted up dragon, weak, unneeded dragon in each tier. Have one of each, you know what I mean? So you'd have one that's, you hire 5 dragons, for example. You have 5 riders. You make sure that all 5 are on 5 different types of elements and put them on the levels that you had the most challenges with in Temple Raid. So then you're knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone. You're getting a junk rider that you send out in missions every 12 hours and earn yourself extra goodies. And then you're also getting a little bit of a boost on those little weak dragons that are in those lower tiers that you're struggling on when it comes to the temple raid. Like, guys, that is an amazing thing you can do for yourself. I didn't share this because I wanted to test it out. And then, of course, after I saw all the nasty, messages coming in, right. I am a very optimistic person. You're right. But no, guys, I'm telling you, it's not even about that. I'm going to tell you, you're not going to see me putting out, for example, a 4. Okay, I'm not going to send his guy out for 12 hours. I'm not away from the game for more than 8 hours a day. I'm usually on this game at midnight, and then I get back up and I'm back on at 8 in the morning or 4 in the morning. So if somebody needs backup, I'm sorry, I just sent out all my dragons. So unfortunately, I can't back you. No, I don't want that. To me, it is much better to utilize the goodies that you get in Atlas. And if you don't have Atlas yet, guys, it's possible it's coming to everyone. So this is your chance. Like, I got Tor seasons ago, and we just recently got Atlas. So when I figured this out that I could do that, it has been a fantastic thing. Necrix is a strong dragon, yes, but not on mine. I didn't get him that far. Tor, a level 1 rider. Like, I just hired him. He's not worth anything. And yet he can go out for the next 12 hours and do my missions. And then there's nothing in my, roster being taken up. So tell me what you think of this idea. Tell me if you think it's smart, if it makes you want to go ahead and get that rider. And I don't mean all the way. I get it. If you don't like the rider all the way, I get it. I understand. That's completely a personal choice. But you can't tell me that getting that rider to this point for 375 sigils isn't worth the not having to deal without your better riders and dragons for 12 hours. I mean, think about that. That is an awesome tool. So basically at this point, you're buying them for 375 sigils so that you can have mission after mission after mission after mission every day that you have enough tokens to put them out. So I don't know. To me, if you were smart, you would take advantage during this sale and you would complete that top line. I'm not saying go beyond it. You don't have to go beyond it. Just to that top line where you can finally at least hire Portia. Because as my riders start getting more and more, strength, even the Atlas rider is going to be worth nothing. Exactly. 12 hours on a mission, like, that's no fun. So, and then when they release the next one, I think I'm going to get it too. Like, even if let's say I do want it and they mix it all up, I'm going to at least get to that point. No. Okay. So what I'm getting at, you're saying that, you wouldn't want to waste sigils on this just to do missions. 375 sigils right now to get that thing during the 50% off. No, let's go look at this. In order to do one of these 5-star missions, you have to level up your rider to be a combat level of 17,000. Okay? None of my riders are strong enough to do the top one. Okay? So you have to use tokens. And if my riders are that strong, I don't think I would want them gone for 12 hours. That is a lot of time to be gone and not be able to utilize that dragon in regular attacks, because once they're on a mission, you can't use those dragons. They are gone. Okay? They're gone, out of reach, can't use them. So if I had chose here to send out Axii, for example, then I would not be able to use Axii at all for the next 12 hours. That is a long time without your top dragon. That is a big deal. However, because I have a weaker rider on a weaker dragon, I can use a token and send it out. Now, you tell me that that's not worth it, considering you're getting 350 sigils. I'm getting on this bottom one, and I've had a lot. I've gone through a lot of these missions. I have been making 700, I said sigils, so listen to me, 700 egg tokens a day for the last 10 days. Oh, so yeah, that's 7,000 in the last 10 days right there alone. And you're saying that's not worth it? How many sigils is 7,000 egg tokens going to get you in sigils on the next one event? The one single, breeding event. You know, this is going to forward on and on and on and on and keep paying off in the future. And if they take these riders away, they stop doing these riders, and all of a sudden all you've got is what you can get in Atlas, because it's possible. I don't know what the plans are in the future of War Dragons, but it's possible that they say, okay, so everybody is really unhappy about riders, so let's just take them out of seasons completely, and then they can earn them in Atlas events. It's possible. Then you've skipped out on the idea of spending 375 sigils because you think it's a waste of sigils, and now you're going, oh, I should have listened to RPW. It was half price. All I had to do was spend 375 sigils so that I could do these. I have had no problems getting that many. If you don't know how best to glory hunt, then we can go over that later. With me, I've done really easily. It's been really easy for me. So, for example, on Swan, 5-star missions. Let's find them here. That's second page. And I don't know what level you are, but as you level up, it may get easier for you. So right here, I got 70. Okay, so I've gotten 140 5-star missions. Yes, you divide that by 5. Granted. So it's still a lot. That's still a lot of missions. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. It's just a suggestion. I'm taking advantage of it. Tor is something that's just literally been sitting there doing nothing for me. And now all of a sudden he's earning me between 275 and 350 sigils for a 12-hour time frame. I mean, to me, I was like, wow, I feel like I didn't waste those sigils now. I feel really excited. So this is just a little secret I thought I'd share with everybody else. And again, once you get that rider, and it's a junk rider, for example, let's say you get this one specific rider for 375 sigils, and you have issues, we'll use, what can we use for an example? Oops. Yeah, let's go in that way. It's much easier. All right, so let's say you have issues in the green tier during the temple raid. Okay, so it's like, oh man, I just wish I had just a little bit more on Danzig. Then I wouldn't have the issues that I have. You know, I struggle on every one of them but Danzig. I'm not saying that that's the case, but this is just an example. Then you could go easily during one event, forge him a couple fire gears. If it gives you something legendary, put it on a better one. If it gives you something rare, put it on this one. And this way, you can have just a little bit more boost that you might need in order to get through those levels that you have to attack in the event, which in turn is going to give you more sigils. So I feel that the 375 sigils is a great way to get that back. It's up to you. Again, up to you. But, I mean, you're getting more than just that rider. I mean, seriously. You're getting a couple of egg fragments, which gets you, again, more sigils. So, I mean, look, you're getting 3 silver chests, 1 gold chest, 200 egg tokens. You're getting 2 wood boosts, which we don't get enough of. Hey, you're getting 100,000 rune dust, which we don't get enough of. A couple mystic fragments, and a rider shard to hire 1 mission rider for 375 sigils. That is going to, in the end, pay you back tremendously. Trust me. Now, if you're just getting to this video, I'm just wrapping it up. Please go back and watch this, because this is going to help you. Share this with your teammates, because, of course, the higher amount of, you know, sigils everybody gets, or points or whatever, is always going to benefit you and your team as well. So make sure you check on that. Okay, well, you know, you don't have to agree with me. The point is, it's helping for me, and I scored massive in this event. So, I don't know. I'm not going to argue with you. That is my suggestion. You don't have to like it. You don't have to love it. But for me, it has proved out to be absolutely fantastic. Again, I'm not telling people to get the entire dragon or try a rider. 375 sigils is a sneeze. So, anyways, I am going to go ahead and hop off here, and I will see y'all later.